All right, friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing you a daily horoscope for Saturday, the 30th of May, 2020. That beautiful moon in Virgo, right? Focused, accurate, precise information, a feeling. All right, focused and precise feelings. As I meditated today on the message of the astrology of what's going on, how to reflect that best I can today in this video. The insight that came in, as funny as enough, it was reminding me that astrology is a part of almost every major story, a lot of Disney stories, things like that. There are all these characters, the personifications of characters. And we have, the sun is the hero of the journey. And we have Mars, the gruff friend who's, sometimes rough around the edges, but forward thinking, the warrior going to get the job done. We've got Mercury, the smart traveler, nerdy, quick-witted person, the love interest, Venus, the maleficent Saturn, and the king Jupiter, who's always lost something or is trying to get something that, the hero needs to give to the king in order to find the love or something like that. And, we can find these personifications throughout a lot of stories, right? As our ancestors, this is all they had before Facebook and Instagram and even modern newspapers, the stories of the sky, right? So what story is the sky today, right? We've got the moon here in Virgo, all right? And the story that came to mind today was, oddly enough, The Little Mermaid, all right? And it was saying, look, our Mars here, okay, is, what is it, the crab, Sebastian, right? Or the little lobster, the little lobster, all right? Because this is a different kind of Mars, all right? Now, if we remember that little character from the movie Little Mermaid, if we've ever seen it, right? I'm sure a lot of us have. Right, this crab, he's a little gruff, he's a little angry, but he's not like this angry warrior, right? He's the action behind making sure everything's getting in its right place. Okay, a very important role that he plays here. And he's also extremely passionate and loving. Ba la 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 la, you've got to kiss the girl. Right, so that's Mars' job right now in Pisces. This is like, hey, I'm the passionate warrior. I'm behind the scenes making things happen here. I'm not just this always rough guy, maleficent planet, okay? Now, Mercury here, who's just entered into Cancer, all right, ruler of Gemini and Virgo. This is the seagull, okay? So now Mercury travels between, this world and the next, the messenger of the gods. So that's what the seagull did, right? He traveled between the humans and the the mermaids, and delivered messages. Now, what's really important here is Venus is in the ruling sign associated with Mercury, okay, being Gemini, sun in Gemini. So Ariel, right, our love interest, this is her story here, and the prince would be the hero that she's seeking, okay, King Jupiter would be her dad, whatever, all right. Now, this seagull goes back and forth and delivers what to the princess? A fork, and he says, this is I don't even know what he called it, a twiddly-dee or something like that, and this is how you brush your hair. Okay, this is really important. This is where this story chimes in. Makes sense. Okay, because this is what she knew now. The fork is a hairbrush. Okay, this is important. This is Gemini. This is all we know, is the information that's given to us. And sometimes the world is a telephone game. And all we know is the information that's given to us by a trustworthy source, one of our dear friends, our good friend Mr. Siegel, whatever his name is in that movie. And it's not until we see somebody else, something else. Okay, and that's what this eclipse is going to be talking about here, or bringing up. The eclipse is going to be bringing up these feelings that's coming up on June 6th. Okay, there's this other perspective. There's this other thing that's like, oh, I thought this is what a fork was used for, but this is what we use a fork for. And my trustworthy friend who thought this and, was misinformation, I don't need to be upset with that individual, but I'm just learning, and I'm open to learning something new, right? Open to learning something new. And as well, Venus in retrograde, what is our star Ariel? She's making decisions, on how abundantly she wants to live her life, the sacrifices that she has to make, okay? Being precise and critical in her decisions. Now we're going to have the moon opposite Neptune, our dreams, okay? Now we have to make a decision. Am I willing to give up my voice for legs? Okay, am I willing to give up my voice for legs? Strike a deal. Look at this, Venus making that sesqui-square over here, Saturn. Am I willing to strike a deal with the devil, Ursula, the authority, and give up something that I love for something else that I love, right? What is worth more to me? This is the moon's decision here. Critical, thinking, analytical, precise, direct, Virgo. All right? Time to make decisions. And those decisions, we might have to give up one thing for another. Hopefully in the movie, we get what we need and we can let go of what we don't need. Again, something that the eclipse is going to be highlighting here very shortly on June 6th. The other part of the day, as we move forward, you see these trines happening here, all right? And this is something I'll talk about briefly, and we're going to see a little bit more of come 2021, okay, is Saturn square Uranus. Now, here in the United States, we have some issues with authority right now, right? If you're familiar with... forgive me, I do not know the gentleman's name off the top of the head. There's riots going on in Minneapolis. Forgive me again, I don't know the gentleman's name. With the officers stepping on the neck, the I can't breathe thing, right? So as we see, okay, this is part of this in a sense. Again, astrology is the reflection. So we can see part of this is going to be changing in the future. Saturn, authority, community, okay? Remembering that we are the government, our voices are the say. And now where, is there an authoritative power, Jupiter, that is too much? Jupiter's expansion, right? Look at that. Now, what are we about to have again come in June? A Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, okay? So where has the government, Capricorn here, the authority, reigned too much to where it's a vulgar display of power, a misuse or abuse of power, okay, abuse of your authority. You've taken it, too far. Okay, now the authority here, Saturn, is in Aquarius. This is the people, okay? Well, we elected you mayors, we elected you governors, we elected you. We chose you as responsible human beings to hire our police force, those that govern us, to keep us truly safe, to look for the good in people and protect the peace, not look for the wrong in people, and then hatred on hatred. Okay, this is not where we are going. So Saturn's coming back here to reinvent some laws, to refocus on this, and before we move forward, 2021 is going to be really important for us to make these decisions. And this is part of it. How do we feel about the authority? Well, we need government, we need order, but we have to make sure that that order is doing what it is intended to doing and not being a misuse of power, because what's going to happen? Pluto, Jupiter conjunction again. All right, it's going to happen 2 more times, and it's happening in June. This is coming up, and this is part of it, my friends, which is the death of this abuse. You're misusing, you're overstepping your boundaries, you're overstepping your power, you're overstepping authority. All right, so this is happening in our government. Now as well, we can turn and reflect this on ourselves. Are we overusing? Are we misusing? Are we exaggerating? Are we telling our friends that this fork is a twiddly-ding, which is a hairbrush or whatever, when we don't actually know the truth? We're just regurgitating something we might have thought we knew, but we actually don't know all of the facts. All right, this is important because, again, this energy right now is saying stay focused right now, because come these eclipses, things are going to flip upside down. And who do we believe? Which group do we believe? Which party do we believe? And it has to ultimately come down to ourselves, our decisions, and sitting with ourselves and what is best for us and for the community as a whole. you know. So we are faced with interesting times, but again, we're making beautiful decisions right now. And going back to the story, you know, the Little Mermaid thing, this is reminding us that every piece has its role. You know what I mean? Like the bird, the lobster, the fish, the Ursula, like every little person, every character has its role into what that happy ending, that marriage, the you know, finally justice being served, the bad guy, you know, getting the punishment, this freedom. Okay, Uranus is here to do that, to express this freedom, this change, this authority is no longer going to withstand. Ursula's ruled this whole time. You know, it's just like, this is that Taurus tradition, how it's always been, that Uranus is saying like, look, no, we're done with this. We're breaking the way to make it new. And then Saturn's going to come back in and say that, yes, now this new way is the new way that we're going to really create things for the next few years ahead. So every little piece plays its part. Every person, not little person, but every person plays its part into this grand, you know, opus, this crescendo, right? So staying focused, playing our parts, making decisions. All right. Happy Saturday, my friends. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.